Hey kids, Inverted Cow here. Welcome back to Empyrion multiplayer. I am still here in space, as you can see, and I have finally finished putting the smoothing on the station. You'll notice that yes, this upper ring has hardened steel and steel blocks. Well, I ran out of hardened steel and I really didn't feel like going and finding another POI to take apart to get enough to finish it. So I'll come back later with some steel plate or hardened plate and finish off the hardened steel bits. That's pretty minor. Of course, you know, texture tool and paint gun in hand. You can guess what's coming up next. That's right, I start texturing. So I have to texture all of this. Still need to move the core. I got to do the interior fit up. I have to do the landing. There's going to be landing pads and hangars, interior hangars. You know, like there's a whole layer that has to go on out here on the outer ring for landing capital vessels and such. I'm really hoping that I'm not too close to that rock. But that all has to happen yet. But I figured, yeah, I'll show you all where we're at. Now this has probably been about 2 days, a day and a half anyway, since I recorded last. A big part of it, of course, was we were delayed due to admin things and server things and that kind of stuff. But yeah, oops, I finally got this up and running, at least to this point. So I'm going to break out the texture gun and I'm going to start texturing my fuzzy little butt off here and see if I can get this thing painted up and looking good. And then I will go on to building the service areas, the landing platforms and whatnot on the outside. And I will also put in the center spire is going to be something else that I will need to install. And that's basically, it's just going to be a large, long spire kind of suspended in the middle here. It won't be connected to the station. It will actually look like it's, you know, being powered by the station. I don't know how I can, I'd love to have a way to shoot ray beams back and forth from it, but I won't. And I want to have it so it looks like it's actually reflecting onto these collector panels here. I still want to make these look like they are some kind of array. So we'll see what happens. Anyhow, that's where I'm at. There's a quick little blurb. I will cut here. I will be back once we have gotten a little bit more paint and some finishes done and we're a little bit further on. I still need to build a new small vessel and a combat capital vessel and whatnot. But so don't go away, kids. I'll be back in a second. Okay, kids, we're back. I have finished painting and texturing the pylons or supports, I guess, and the ring itself. Again, yeah, I used the reflective strips inside here. I also did a reflective strip on the outside, painted with the dark red. I don't know if it would actually show in the shadow very well or not. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I love these reflective strips simply because of the fact you don't need power for them, although they don't make light when there is no power, which is kind of weird. Also yesterday there was rumor that there was somebody poking around, so I made up this little tiny fighter craft. It was supposed to look like a missile, but yeah, I don't know. It's just basically it's a large, extra large thruster wrapped in steel and hardened steel with a cockpit and a whack of rockets on the front. I used it over on one of the POIs in the area, and I had some desync issues, and it took a lot of damage. But it was all superficial. It was all hull plating and armor blocks and stuff like that that were blown up. So it wasn't too big of a loss, but I don't like the rockets against drones. It's basically what the problem was, is I kept running into drones. Rockets do not do well against drones. I prefer the miniguns or the pulse lasers. Miniguns preferably, simply because the shots are a little bit more instantaneous. But that's not too big of a deal. But that's where we're at right now. This is probably about, I don't know, 6-7 hours now that I've been working on this, maybe a little longer. I'm going to start working on the inside ring of this, of the main hull, and I want to get that finished off. I also want to start doing some of the actual interior construction. That's something I have to start considering, because right now I simply have literally empty void in here, and where I've just set up a small workshop with a couple of constructors, and that needs to be addressed, because I would like to actually get this into a position where it is closer to an actual functional station. Although I do need to go and get some more hardened steel or combat armor, which means I need to go take out one of these area POIs today and strip it right down for all of its combat armor, because I need to also go over this and do the upgrades with the hardened steel plates to upgrade this all to combat armor. I do want the whole exterior hull, all this battle steel, is combat armor. This stuff here, yeah, combat steel. I want it all combat steel all the way around. And right now this is just hardened, so it still needs one more upgrade to go. So yeah, that's going to be the next part of this project. So don't go away, kids. I'll be back once again, and we'll see how much more we've got done. Okay, we are back. I have now painted the majority of the top half of this station. I needed more hardened steel plates, so I took a visit over to the local repair station POI and negotiated a deal with them for those plates. I exchanged them some slightly used ammunition, and they let me take some second-hand armor plates off of their station. So it was a good trade all around. It was enough for me to put in a complete layer of combat steel on the whole of this station now. So the whole exterior donut has been updated with combat steel. Basically, I'm just going for the look inside the middle here, where it is a focusing type thing. As I said, there's still going to be a center column that's going to go in, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to carry this pattern on the bottom, or if I'm just going to paint the whole of the bottom flat black, which is highly possible, so that looking at it from one angle is basically just going to be a flat black system. Again, with the sides, it's going to be a different color as well. I stopped at this layer because I was able to get a fairly clean line all the way around. So the next layer down will probably be either a different texture or a different color. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do next, but that's okay because I'm going to leave it for the time being. I'll come back to this and do some more building on this on another episode. But that's where we're at right now. I do have to start trying to figure out the internal layouts, the internal fit-ups, that kind of thing. That's all going to have to get started, as well as the extra layering for the internals overall. And I still need to move or relocate that core, so that's on the inside of this station. But that's going to do it for today. I'm going to say thanks all for watching, kids. And yeah, good night for now.